We're parked in the middle of nowhere in Oregon right now, and on the way over here, I picked up some pieces for something that's been kind of it may be a problem that we have. I'm not entirely sure, but the composting toilet, when we're driving quickly, uh, will start to smell. And I think that what's going on is that the air is coming in through the vent on the roof and pushing it against the fan that's pushing all the air out through the composting toilet and out the vent that's in the bathroom. So I got this, what do you call this? This is a air admittance valve, which lets air go out one way, which is this way. It actually lets air in, but it doesn't let air out. And so I'm going to stick this on the end of the vent, and hopefully that will prevent some weird smells from coming into the space. I have the output vent, and then there's a fan right here that actually, if I pull this off, you can hear it. It's very quiet. Oh, come on. So it's blowing air through the composting toilet into that tube that goes out through the ceiling. So when it's blowing really hard, or when we're driving really fast, I feel like air is coming back this way and blowing out that side vent. So I'm going to take this guy, and it's going to stick right there. And hopefully that will solve all the smells, or at least minimize them. I'm putting the adhesive onto both the air admittance valve and the vent that it's supposed to protect. At the time of this initial install, I used adhesive that I had on hand, but later on I used a multi-purpose adhesive after it failed. Alright, and that's it. So just put the adhesive on, have the elbow on there. This is facing up. Air should be circulating through this way, through the toilet and out the side. And now if air pressure comes this way, this should prevent the blowback. Okay, so we spent the day driving today, and similar conditions to what would have caused it to the toilet to backflow with that smell. But this seems to be working. So a couple bucks worth of parts from the store, and kind of prevents any backflow from wafting through the air. So I'm pretty happy with this. Quick little project on the road, done. Okay, this is a project that I've been thinking about for a while that is for emergencies only, and it is a hot water loop. Basically, we are tapping into the hot water and allowing it to dump into the cold water fill of the freshwater tank. You can see how this could be, why this is a loop. Water gets pulled from from down at the bottom of the freshwater tank. It goes up through the pump, through the hot water heater, comes back out here, and then back down into the tank. So we're taking out cold water, turning it into hot water, and dumping it back into the tank warm. So in an emergency, you would have the option to basically hit a valve and let the tank just kind of warm up that way. It would take a lot of propane, but it's extra reinforcement to what we've already got, which are electric tank heaters and 12-volt heat tape on all the wires. We ended up being in some really low temperatures on our last trip, stuff that I was never intending to be, a temperature I was never intending to be in with the bus, but I'm probably going to end up there again. So for the sake of covering all the bases, this seems pretty easy. I actually had all of these parts on hand already, with the exception of this little T-valve. But now I've got the T-valve, so all I have to do is gonna cut down here below the valve and connect up to the hot water with a valve in the way. So basically, normal operation, you keep the valve closed. In an emergency, you open it up. Okay, so as you can see, I've just dry fitted in I already cut the line down here. So this is the shape that I want. So I'm going to put it together, and then I'm going to cut the line up there, put it in line, attach it down there, and those should be the only two connections that I need to make in that cramped space. And then all it is hit the valve, hot water flows in right into the tank. Okay, so I've made my attachment, and I used a Sharpie to kind of mark how I wanted each of the fittings to align. So now we are ready to just kind of fit it up into place. I got to cut that line, cut the hot water line over there, and use the crimper tool to crimp the rings on, and this will be a permanent attachment for my plumbing system. All right, so I got the valve in right there. But of course, it wouldn't be a bust project if I didn't have any problems. So when I cut the hot water line, it was actually still under pressure, and it exploded all over me. So I've got paper towels all over the place trying to soak it up. I thought I had winterized this thing and there was no more water in there, but apparently I didn't do a good enough job. So if we're in a really cold weather situation and like having some serious problems, so this is normally like this when we're filling the water. We just got to make sure this valve is closed and then turn this valve on. So now hot water would run down through that pipe right into here. It could not go backwards because the valve for the fill would be closed, and it would just create a loop of hot water dumping into the freshwater tank. For the most part though, this will always stay like that. Cool. All done.